Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander. I'm here to host our show, Life After Happiness. Today was going to be a little bit different than what we planned. Apparently, one of the psychics isn't feeling well, but we are doing a show, but we won't be taking questions. There will be a show in the future that will be that we will take questions, and Jill will explain that when we come on the air. It was sort of a last-minute thing. I guess they wanted to come on, even though I'm sick. My co-host Kelly is here. Are you there, Kelly?
Yeah, hi. Do we have any callers yet?
Well, I mean, we're not. We're
not taking questions, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have people listening in, so it's
that's great.
Okay, she's going to. When she calls in, I'll introduce you to Jill. I think Micki will be there with you. So I think I'm not sure. You know how sometimes I get the facts wrong and everything, but I'm really glad that you're here doing the show with me.
Thank you. Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's been a crazy day, but a good day for me. How about you?
Crazy day, but a good day. Why has it been a good day for you?
Well, I got to see one of my best friends, and we got to go to a family fun center where they have bowling, which I didn't do. We didn't do that today, but we did the arcade, and it was really fun. And the boys pooled their tickets and coins and things, and they got me a little prize too, which was really sweet. And their mom something too. So we had fun. But the driving was treacherous this morning with all the ice that's in Michigan right now. I was starting to slide, even going 5 miles an hour. So
yeah.
It's been crazy.
How's Jared?
He's doing well. Yeah, he came here to visit, which is good. When I went to see my animals, they're all going nuts because they hadn't seen me for like 2 weeks. My friend has been taking care of them. Between my friend and Tim, they were taken care of, but man, they didn't, like, I've got 3 of them at her house that are the ones that need special care, and they did not want to let go. And I felt bad for leaving because they don't know if I'm going to, see them tomorrow or if it's going to be another 2 weeks, which feels like years, to them. So I felt bad, but it's, part of the job.
Yeah, I know.
But, yeah.
Okay.
But, it's life. Everybody has to make sacrifices to do better sometimes, so.
Okay. Okay, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Jill, are you there?
She's went to get a drink from me. She'll be right back.
Okay. Micki, how are you doing, Micki? Are you doing okay, Micki?
Huh?
How are you doing? How are you doing, Micki? How are you doing?
Good. Well,
okay.
For my age, I'm terrific.
Well, I wanted to introduce you to someone. Yeah, we're on the air, and I wanted to introduce you to someone. This is Kelly, and it's sort of funny because you know how you're always saying that I do good with Sagittariuses? Well, she's a Sagittarius. Her name is Kelly. She's right here.
Aren't we
this
wonderful,
Kelly?
Kelly? Aren't we the greatest?
Hi.
Aren't we the greatest?
Aww.
We can't stand a liar. We can't stand people being hurt. We're happy-go-lucky. Let's go back.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's about being a Sagittarius. She's talking about being a Sagittarius. You can't stand a liar. Happy-go-lucky. She's basically saying you're
so
like
true.
Yeah, she's basically telling you you're just like her.
When's your birthday, Cal?
Oh, that's cool. December 4th, 1974.
December 4th, 1974.
Oh, yeah, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Bill's son is December 5th.
Yeah, my son, who's an artist, is December 6th. But I always, I always tell everybody when it comes to, when I do the horoscopes for the Daring Woman magazine, it takes me, when I used to do it for the Globe, it used to take me like a day and a half. But now since I can do it monthly, I take my time with them. But I always say I bring like 50 people. There's 50 different people to a sign. Not everybody's the same. And there are people that are born the same day, same time, not even a minute apart, and they're nothing alike at all. I've had them in my lectures, and they were total opposites. And people would be like, oh, my God, they're both born on the same day. And in the same time, even the same hospital, 2 Geminis were born.
That's the same year.
Same exact year. Same year. But different, you know what it is? It's different mothers. That's what it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That does make sense, yeah.
This is going back, but it happens a lot. It happens a lot. But going back when I was in New York City, which I'll be in New York in March, if any of your listeners are listening, I'm going to be there the end of March doing lectures in the city at the Wyndham Hotel in New York. But when I was there, I had the rooms filled. There was like 500 people, and I said, all the Geminis stand up. And there was like around, so many Geminis at that time. And I picked 2 people, and I said, what are your birthdays? And they had the same birthday. They were both the same time, and they were both born at the same hospital. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, that is crazy.
But different mothers. And one person said, oh, I love children. I have 3, and we have horses, and I'm a lawyer, and I love my husband. And then the other one said, I married a man for money. He said, I can't stand children. Animals, I would have to board them because I travel and shop so much. So you see, they're 2 opposites, and they didn't even look alike at all.
Wow.
And because people say, why would that happen? And I'm answering it for everybody. It's because it's different mothers.
And fathers.
Because if you went by, and fathers. Because if you went by their planets in ephemeris, if you looked up their planets, they would be, in the planet-wise, it'd be the same because it's the exact same time, same year, not a minute apart, right? But if you have intuition, you will know those 2 people are nothing alike. Like if someone put 2 people born exact same time and place next to each other, and they'd be like, okay, they're going to tell us the same thing. No, because if the person has intuition, they will know that those 2 people are not the same, regardless that they're both the same, same time, same year. So when I do my horoscopes, it's like I'm combining 50 people. It takes so much time to do them. And then when you read it, it's like you're reading it to yourself. Like you're reading all about, like I'm talking to you. That's what it's about. It's like when you read your horoscope with me, it's like I'm talking to you. And also, I do want your listeners to know as well is let's say someone's a Pisces and they have 3 signs of Scorpio. They should be reading Scorpio sign as well, because if you have more than one sign in your planet, like if you have 3 signs, you are basically that sign as well, besides you're the sign you were born.
Oh, interesting. I hadn't heard that before.
Yeah. So like if you know your planets, like where your Mars is and your Jupiter and your Pluto, it's like your moon, your emotions, your moon. And let's say there's 3 of those signs that are Scorpio, let's say. In reality, you're more Scorpio than what you were born.
Oh, wow. The only one that I know is my sun and moon sign.
What's your sun and moon sign?
sun sign Sagittarius. The moon sign is Leo.
Oh, you're
That's why people say you're like her.
So you belong with you, dude.
What?
You're good. She's telling you you're good with computers. You're good with media. That's where you belong.
And you're an actress.
Oh, wow.
The first time that we ever did a show, the first time me and her we did a show together, it was her doing chakra days, and then I had her on, and it's sort of funny because it's similar to the story of how you got started in radio, Jill. Because what happened was that when I had Kelly on as a co-host, she didn't know this. I just brought her on, and I said, "This is my co-host, Kelly."
Yeah.
Well, she lit up like a Christmas tree. She loved it.
Yeah.
Jonathan, would you like to hear a true story about Jill? Hear a story about Jill, how she got started.
Well, I got started when I was younger, but
but on media.
Yeah, but I've been on media my whole life. But the one problem was I would never go on radio alone. I always had my mom next to me. So when I was flown out to Tampa to do that radio show, that John Eastman show, where I made that prediction about the Muslim attack in Washington, D.C., that put me in the book Ripley's Believe It or Not, I had my mom next to me. And every show I've done when I was younger, I would have my mom next to me. I never did radio by myself.
Oh, I can talk.
So when I was 20, here we go. This is how I did radio.
All right, Jonathan. I was asked by the big politician here in Miami. They own the station, WNBM, and Gwen Margolis, and she asked me if I would please, that the ratings were terrible, would I please come all the way down to South Beach in the hot sun at 3 o'clock. Every day, preceding Larry King, and would I please do the show? And I couldn't say no to her. She was so good to us when we first moved to Florida. So I said, okay, but I didn't want to do it. So I called Jill, and I said, Jill, will you come do it with me? No. I said, Jill, please. I'm not going down to South Beach in the hot sun, and I'm not gonna talk. Well, this went on for like a month. And finally one day she said, yeah, I'll go. I said, really? Because she's good on the air. And she said, yeah. And we drove down to South Beach in the hot sun. It's very hot in Florida in the summer. And we get into the studio, and I said, would you like some coffee, knowing that Jill loved coffee. So I went to get coffee. I went to get coffee, and I went out to the car. I left the studio, went in the car, turned on the radio to WNBM, and I hear, hello, this is the Jill Dane Show. And that's how it all started.
No, that's not all of it. That is not all of it. She left me, and I'm waiting for my coffee, okay? And I'm waiting for the coffee, and I'm just sitting there because I'm waiting for my mother, Micki, to get on the air. Mm-hmm. And never came back. And next thing, it all lights up the station. There's 20 lines lit already with lines. And the producer, next thing you know, Love Will Keep Us Together comes on, and it says it's the Jill Dane Show. And I just, freaked out because, like I said, my whole life I had her sitting next to me doing radio. I never was doing radio alone, right? Yeah, I did. Yeah, at Portland, Oregon, when I was 15, I predicted the Mount St. Helen that burst in. I predicted that in Portland, Oregon. But I never did radio without her. When I was younger, before I was 20, I never did it by myself. So she leaves
Let me ask
me in
you
this
something.
room.
What was 9/11 like with the both of you? Because here you are, you're both psychic. You must have felt something at the same time that it happened.
Wait, 1 second. Wait, let me just finish telling what happened, because this is.
Okay,
let me just finish. She said she walks out and doesn't come back, and they say it's the Jill Dane Show. Any person that's never done something alone is freaking out, and I'm freaking out in the studio. I'm like, what do I do? And they're like, they said, press a button. So I pressed the button. Now, I have to be on the air 2 hours, okay? It's drive-by Monday through Friday, okay? So I pressed the button, and this woman calls in from California, and she says, hi, Jill, how are you? And I'm like, I'm fine, and I'm freaking out. I'm not fine, okay? I'm, like, nervous, right? And she said, and I was very, very blunt. I'm blunt, but I'm nicer blunt, okay, now, right? And she said, and this was the first caller that called in. And she said, hi, Jill, my husband. And as soon as she said her husband, I said, you better get home. Your husband's having an affair with another woman. They're in bed together. Just like that. That was my first call. Okay, can you imagine that? And then, after a few calls, I was like, okay, I'm getting relaxed now, and I got to be here 2 hours, okay? So the next day, that woman called in 2 hours before I was getting on, 3 o'clock. And she gets on the radio. They put her on, the first caller. She held 2 hours before my show got on. And then it was my show. It wasn't my mom's show. It became my show. And she said, Jill Dane, you are lying. And I go, who is this? And she said, I called in yesterday with this very nice voice, right? And I said, so what was I lying about? I said, what happened? She says, well, I walked in, and because she was out of town, and she was going back into the house, and she came back early. And she said she was walking into the house. The shower was running. Her husband and her next-door neighbor were on the floor, all with no clothes on and all wet. And they both woke up, and he says, I'm giving her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
Oh, my God.
I felt so bad. And I said, when she said that to me, I can imagine, because there was like over 1 million listeners listening to that show. It was a syndicated show. I was like, we got to go to commercial break, because I felt so bad,
Wow.
Yeah. So that was.
But I'm curious.
Experience. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm curious, because like this is one thing I wanted to ask. One time I wanted to ask this to the both of you, because my take of the both of you is that Micki will talk about how everybody in the whole world relates to you. You talk about how you relate to everybody in the world. And that seems to be the difference between the two of you. I don't know if you agree with that, but that's what I've noticed.
Wait, repeat that, Jonathan.
Okay.
Say it again.
Okay. You talk about how you relate to everybody in the world. Your mother talks about how everybody in the world relates to you. For instance, and I've had meetings with the both of you, and this is the situation, okay? I asked you one time, I said, who's going to get married first, me or my sister Cassie? And I asked Jill this, and Jill said, who cares? Okay? When I asked Micki this, Micki says, okay, well, it's probably going to be a double wedding is what it's going to be. So, in other words, you see what I'm saying? You agree that that's both of your styles?
Everybody, Jonathan, every intuitive out there has a different style, I guess.
But I mean, do you agree with me about my opinion of yours?
That's true, but every person I read or every person I come across, it's like my intuition doesn't end. I go to sleep with my intuition. I wake up with my intuition. It never gets turned off, okay? I make my major predictions for the world in the middle of the night. I'll go to sleep, and I'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and that's even when I answer my Ask Jill questions, or that's when predictions come to me. Or
me too.
And you too, right?
Yeah.
And my mother as well. It's like really late at night. During the morning as well, sometimes it's in the morning, but me with world predictions, it's at night. Every person that I've come across or I encounter is different. And I have 2 weddings that I predicted that are coming March. One's March 30th in Boca, and her name is Kathy Vogel. and that I predicted. And when I made a prediction for her, I kept seeing the color blue. I kept seeing this person with blue. Not even blue eyes, but there's something with blue with him. And I mentioned his name, his sign, and then you could say 4 years later, she meets the person I predicted, and guess what? He invented the color blue. Okay? And then
I also heard a story about you involving a guy named Moti. Is that another story?
About who?
Well, apparently a lady was dating a guy who had a really weird name, like Moti or Mopey or something.
Oh, Moti. Oh, that's nothing. There's so many times like this, Denise. I kept seeing a lot of J's and all Jimmys, you know. And every person she came across is Jimmy, and now she's with Jimmy. Her name's Denise Rico. She'll be probably listening to the show. Yeah. You know, and she's now with the person named Jimmy. But the one with the Moti, this person named Anat, who I knew, she was in love with a person named Moti, and he was in Israel, and she was here in Florida. And I said, I don't see you marrying that Moti. Oh yes, I'm going to marry that Moti. I said, no, you're going to meet another person by the name Moti that I feel that's in construction.
That was on Lifetime.
And that was on Lifetime, and she said Lifetime television, and she said, no, I want to marry that Moti. Well, what happens? That Moti in Israel, they break up, and she was out at a dance club, and this person said, my name is Mark, the one that she met. He didn't say his name was Moti, and then like 3 weeks later, he goes, by the way, my name is Moti, and they got married.
Wow.
And she married Moti. But this other wedding that's on March 31st, this person, Carla, was dating my client, David, and I saw them having a child together but not getting married. So they had a child. And the reason why I'm telling these stories because there are some readings that are private that I predicted, and there's some that are out there that they tell everybody and they give me permission. Okay? Because every person that comes to see me, it's like going to a priest or a rabbi. It's all private. But the reason why I'm bringing these out, the other one was on television. These are going to be on my TV show that's coming up. And so she was dating David, and she had the child, like I said. But I said, no, I see this other David, and I keep seeing something with Fisher Island and Connecticut. And she goes, no, I haven't met him yet. I go, but you will. But it's not yet. And that's why everything is timing. And she met David, like I said, and she got her engagement ring. But I said he would be married. And he was married, but he was they were going through a divorce, and he finally got divorced December. And finally, the divorce got finalized, and their wedding is going to be in Fisher Island on March 31st.
You know, you told me that I was going to marry a lady named Linda or Mary or something. I remember that was.
Yeah, I like the name.
Do you remember something like that?
Mary.
Linda or Mary, and that she was going to have blonde hair with light eyes or something. Is that what you said?
No, not white eyes. We don't want someone with white eyes.
White eyes.
White eyes, not white eyes. They don't have that color unless they're fake.
Okay, so it's a white eyes, and her name would be Linda or Mary.
Yeah. But that's how when I and my mother as well, right? Some people like I just posted Wendy's on my Facebook and on Instagram. I posted her picture she just sent me. And back in 1995, when she was only 20 years old, I didn't see her getting married till she was 40. Now, a lot of times, people don't get married right away. You have to meet people. You have to get to know them. You don't know someone in a certain amount of time. And then sometimes people are married 20 years and they don't know someone as well. But so I saw her getting married when she was 40, and she didn't like that, but she still, throughout the years, had readings with me. And she married the person that I predicted, the police officer that I predicted. And her wedding was in the Carolinas, and I posted their picture on Facebook and Instagram. Joe? No, blonde. No, that was Wendy. That was Wendy. I mean, I predicted over 3,000 marriages. A lot of marriages.
Wow.
Yeah. But, yeah. A lot of marriages.
You said that you
I
also
try to
predicted
post-
your own. Is that true?
Who?
You also
predicted
predicted your own wedding.
I predicted my own wedding. When I was 18 years old, I did the Big Wilson show, and I celebrated. I'll never forget. I was wearing a green jacket. What a memory! I remember what people wear in front of me from like 20 years ago. But I was wearing. I wish I could find that film. I was celebrating my 18th birthday, and I had met my husband now. He was 16 and a half, and I was 17 and a half when I met him. And on my 18th birthday, they celebrated my 18th birthday on the Big Wilson show. And they brought out a huge cake with gigantic candles. And so Big Wilson said, "Who are you going to marry?" And I said, "I'm going to marry that guy over there." Mm-hmm. And that guy over there said, "I'm not marrying Jill, and nor am I going to get married till I'm 40 years old." And then fast forward, and how I met my husband, how I met him, I was at this club, and these Israelis that are my best friends now came up to me and they said, "Oh, you're so beautiful." And I'm like, "Oh God, no." And they said, we have a cousin we want you to meet." And I'm like, "Oh my God, if they look anything like him, no, I don't, there was too much, no. And so they said, "Why don't you come back next Friday?" And that's where I'm trying to get your audience to use their intuition. My intuition made me go back. If I didn't go back, I would have never met my husband today. My intuition said, "You know what? Go back. Let's just see what he looks like." Because I was like, if he looks like them, I don't want to meet him, But my intuition said, and I always tell everyone, use your first intuition, not your second. My intuition told me, go back. So I went back, and I met him, and he was gorgeous. And then I did that show, and then we broke apart, and we got back together, and we've been married 22 years.
Wow.
And he was my first love.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, my mother loved him. And my
wow.
mother looked at him. Mother said I was going to marry him, too. My mother said, that's it. This is the one. And that's why I always tell everybody, if someone invites you somewhere, you should go, because you never know who you're going to meet. Don't say no, I'm tired. Don't say no, don't say no, I'm tired. Don't say no, I don't want to go. Push yourself and go. You never know who's going to be there. And
that's so true.
Right? No, and I always tell people, and I just said it on my own show just recently, there are people that work out of their house. And, you wake up, the ones that work out of the house, the ones that are single. And they wake up in their PJs, and they're still working in them, and they go to sleep, and they don't leave the house. Well, get up, get dressed when it comes to lunchtime, and go sit at a cafe. You never know who could be there. If you don't leave your house and you don't get on that internet, how are you going to meet somebody? And it's true.
Yeah.
So it's for those of you who work through your home, get out of that office. Even if you're working in an office, get out of that office. Go somewhere. Go have a salad somewhere. Bring your food with you. Sit down at a table. You never know who could be walking by. And my other suggestion for everybody, if you have a grocery store, and if you're a woman or a man, all the men and women go shopping at night, So if you're single, go at night. Go to a supermarket at night. The only time I have myself is to get anything is like at 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I see so many men and so many women in there. I mean, that's like a dating site itself.
Oh, wow.
Right? Yeah.
I never thought of that.
I didn't want to go to the White House. There's a sick New Jersey. And Jill's father was from Newark, New Jersey, and they were having a basketball tournament or something. And I looked at this man all the way up on there. I didn't want to go. I don't care about basketball. I didn't want to go. And my old boyfriend was there. And I see this fellow that looked like Elvis Presley. He had on shirt-two pants, shirt-two shirt, shirt-two shoes, and a gold keychain with his name on it. When he told me his name, I didn't believe him. Herman. How can anyone call anybody Herman? And then he said his name was Sokolov. I really thought. Then he said he was 18. And I thought, God, I'd love to have a little girl that looks like him. Jill, a picture of him.
And you know something, for everyone out there, there's so many cures that are coming out now. And my father passed away when I was 6 years old of Hodgkin's, and a year later they had a cure for Hodgkin's. That's why everybody's starting to live longer than expected. I told everyone's going to be living in their hundreds, and I have a client that is 103 that just got her master's degree, and she always said, because she listened to me when she was 70 years old, and she's 103 now. She said, I would tell her, read a chapter a day, eat a lot of blueberries. It helps with the mind, right? And she did that, and she went back to school in her 90s and got her master's degree.
Oh my God!
And she jogs every day, 103 years old. So there's going to be, like I said to everybody, I said this years ago, that marijuana is going to help epilepsy. It's going to help Parkinson's, diabetes, AIDS, cancer. And I've told people to buy into that stock. Now they just announced that it's going to get passed in every state. So whoever bought into the marijuana stock, or you should buy into them now, that's my prediction for all these years, you're going to see that's the future. And that's going to be the whole stock market. And everyone will make money.
The combinations I like too.
Whatever.
Like I love Taurus and Pisces.
And stem cell too. I made that prediction when I was 18 years old about stem cell.
I like Taurus and Pisces.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Happiest marriages I've ever seen.
Stem cell people. I want to just say one thing. All the doctors that are practicing now, 10 years from now, are going to have to go back. Remember, this is my prediction. Are going to have to go back to school to learn STEM, because STEM is going to be the future. Remember that.
Mm.
And it's the past. It is.
Well, they didn't use
They
it.
didn't know about it.
Yeah.
But again, people ask me what signs are good.
Well, why don't you tell everybody how you started? You know, people would want to hear, you know, like you were on, like, I mean, even Johnny Carson. Did you ever hear of Johnny Carson, you guys? It was so long ago.
Yes.
Okay, someone on Facebook was watching it like 2 years ago and posted on my wall, Jill, Johnny Carson just mentioned your mom, Mickey Dane, with her predictions.
Oh wow!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but my mom would always be in the cover of the National Enquirer, you know, and
Educational Network.
What about with Nixon, with Watergate?
And I was going to mention that.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, it's so funny because the Enquirer would say, give me a list of his. Nixon was in Florida a lot, and he had a male friend. I forgot his name, but he was on Key Biscayne. And I kept saying, Nixon's going to have terrible trouble with water. I was on Sandy Payton's show with Mickey. I said, he's going to have trouble with water. I don't know what I mean. He's not going to drown in the bay, but he's going to have an awful. Well, of course, then came Watergate. So in turn, I found out my cousin built the Watergate apartment. I found out years later. And then when I said it would snow in Miami, they thought I lost it. Now she's lost it. She's not a psychic. 2 days later, we had a snowstorm, a real snowstorm. 1977, right. And I've had more men propose to me. The more you refuse, the more they want you.
Yeah, why don't you give some love advice to everybody?
I'm sick of love advice. I love your dogs. I love your cat. At 87 years old, fucking moon.
I gotta tell a story. I gotta tell the story. It's very funny. I remember we were doing a lecture together at down here in Florida, and these ladies were going, "Oh my God, it's Mickey Dane! Hallelujah, hallelujah!" I'll never forget that. Right? Those two ladies standing up, right? And they were gospel women, and they were funny as ever. And the place was packed. It was like you couldn't even move. Just like when we were down in North Miami Beach, we had 2,000 people there. It was crazy, right? So this place was packed, and they're like, "Hallelujah, hallelujah." So I'm sitting there, and we're both in the front. We're both sitting in the front. It was so funny. And so this woman goes, "Oh, Jill, you predicted my husband for me, and we're married and everything, but we're having issues." And the woman was sitting off to the left-hand side in the second row. And so my mother grabs the mic, and, the woman's like, his name is blah, blah, blah. You told me I was going to marry him like 10 years ago, blah, blah, blah. And so my mother goes, and she goes, "But now we're having issues." So my mother goes, "Yeah, you're having issues. What's your sign? What's your birthday?" And he goes, "Pisces." And she goes, I don't know if I could say this on radio. She goes, "You're not giving him head." I you don't understand. And I put my head between my legs. I could not believe what came out of her mouth. I was like, "Oh my God!" I couldn't talk. I was so embarrassed. I put my head between my legs, and I'm like, "I'm so sorry." And they're like, "Why are you sorry, Jill? Be quiet. We want to hear what your mother has to say." I can't know it. It's like a deja vu moment.
Actually,
yeah.
I wanted to say something else. I want to say something else. This is something I wanted to say in front of you and your mom. I've always told you. I don't know if you ever seen the movie My Cousin Vinny.
What is it? My son Vinny. Yes.
No, the movie My Cousin Vinny. Yeah.
Yeah, My Cousin Vinny. Yes,
okay.
yes.
Right. Yeah, I want to say this in front of your mom.
Wait, I want to stop you. You must be so psychic. I'm going to say this to you. I was just before I got on the radio show. I cannot believe you just said this. I was on the phone, and I had told someone that he was going to meet someone that looked like the the girl in My Cousin Vinny. And he did.
Right, that's you, Jill, with ESP. I mean,
that's
it's like
so amazing.
Whatever I can think of your voice.
That's amazing.
Well, it's like this is how you sound. It's like this is how you sound. You go, "Okay, your mom, you put in your status, your grade." And whenever I think of Mickey, I think of Olympia Dukakis and Moonstruck.
Oh, you look like the woman in Moonstruck.
Olympia Dukakis.
What's
the
name?
Mother? Cher's mother, Olympia Dukakis.
Cher's mother.
It's sort of your.
I was very pretty. I really was.
You still are beautiful. Yes, you are.
I only now age.
No one can believe that the age my mother is. She looks like she's 20 years younger.
Wow.
Like Jill. Jill looks like me.
I wish.
You do.
I wish.
Let me ask you this: when you were pregnant with Mickey, when you were pregnant with Jill, did you know she was psychic?
When you were pregnant with me, did you know I was psychic?
Oh yeah. Oh, you have a grandfather who is the head of RKO and Warner Brothers, who is very psychic. Harold Blumenthal from Passaic, New Jersey, and you were surrounded by people because of my father that were in show business. And show business people are very psychic.
You know what the difference, Jonathan, is with me and the world? The difference is that I grew up with my mother back then, and I grew up with Sybil Leek, may she rest in peace, who was amazing intuitive, and Edgar Casey, who was in the book with me in Ripley's, believe it or not, Dorothy Allison, Sean Robbins. I grew up with, these amazing intuitives. They were, the best. and Jean Dixon. These were like the best. And
we plowed the roads. And
yes, yes. And what I'm trying to say is, when I would open my mouth, you know, it wasn't. But other people that have intuition back then would keep it shut because their parents weren't allowed. They weren't allowed to use their intuition. You know, me, I got myself.
You know what I'm talking
trouble.
about, right, Kelly?
Yeah.
You know, when I was in kindergarten, I got kicked out of kindergarten because I told the teacher what she wrote on the board before she wrote it, because my mom would say, Jill, say what you see. Now, someone else, if they said what they saw, they would get slapped, or they would be like, oh, you're evil. I've heard so many stories. But thank God I was around these amazing people, and all my friends knew my mother, and all Florida and the world knew my mother, so it was natural. But now what I'm loving is that people are now using their intuition when they weren't before.
They even know their signs. Nobody knew their
Well, you know, it's
signs.
sort of funny
No.
because Kelly, my co-host Kelly, is kind of like that. You know, you were like in a Mormon family, is that right, Kelly?
Yeah. We didn't attend church together anymore, but I had that upbringing, and it was something that was known, that it was passed down through my mom's side mostly, and I think the other side as well, but they just didn't talk about it because it was something that, well, if you didn't know for sure it came from God, then it, you know, that only left one other place it could come from, and in their mind.
But where else would intuition come from? God.
Well,
Comes
they
from
thought
the higher power. You're born with it. You know, everyone is born with intuition. Just some people are, but just some people are stronger than others.
Can I please?
Yeah,
Jonathan,
they thought,
Jonathan,
you know, it could be from the devil, you know, that was just how they saw it. And my mom also had like a Southern Baptist type
Kelly,
upbringing in a way.
You will love this, Kelly. You will love
I'm
this.
what?
I'm Jewish. I was born Jewish, okay? In the Christ Hospital in Jersey City. Can you hear me? I was born in the Christ Hospital in Jersey City on Thanksgiving. The doctor's name was Godlin, Godlin. And it was Thanksgiving, and the Irish nun said to my mother, this is an exceptional baby. Her name should be Micki, not Maxine. So I've been surrounded. I'm a great admirer of Ruth Ginsburg, Baker Ginsburg, the secret, and St. Anthony. I believe Jesus, everything. Everyone's the same, and everyone should show love instead of hate. It would be such a better world. I'm old enough to give you that advice, really. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
You know, everybody, you know, in my eyes, we're all the same. You know, I believe, you know, I believe in one, you know, I don't look at religion or anything like that. I believe we're all the same, and everybody has intuition. Just people, you know, some people, I call it coming out of the closet right now, and they're using their intuition. Finally, it's another world. Yeah, exactly. I mean, years ago, if I would say, oh, you're going to meet a Sag, people wouldn't understand what Sag is. Now, when you ask, you're going to meet a Sag, everybody's like, oh, my God, I had a Sag, they're no good. You know, it's a totally different era, and people are more spiritual. They're into healing. They're into, you know, no, I'm joking. I'm just saying a sign. You know, and also, if some people are in a relationship, and let's say they were dating a Scorpio, and they had a bad time with the Scorpio, that doesn't mean all Scorpios are bad, because then they'll come across another one. I don't want to meet him. He's a Scorpio. Don't label it. Get to know, go on the date and meet the person. Absolutely. It's just like if someone had they were married to let's say a William, and the William was controlling emotionally, mentally, and physically, and then someone says, oh, I have a William I want you to meet. and they'll be like, no, I had a William in my life. I don't want to meet another William. He was controlling, emotionally, mentally, physically. Get that out. Get that storage out of your head, because not that William may be nice and caring and passionate and loving. Not all names are the same, and not all signs are the same. That's
yeah, yeah, that's
no, but
true.
What I'm also trying to say as well is, like, people are now, like I said, back then, people may have been spiritual, but they were hiding in the closet. Now they're open. And what I love, you don't understand, I love to see all these light workers out there. I love, back when I was younger, it was called ESP. Now it's called psychic or intuitive, but it was called ESP. Yeah, that's what it was, ESP. That's all I heard. Now there's all these names, medium and this. If you are intuitive, you have ESP. That's it. There's one word, ESP.
Listen to your dreams. Listen to your dreams.
Listen to your dreams?
Dreams. Oh, you get messages. May not show up right away. It could be in a week or two, a month or two, but it shows up. And you always have somebody that you love that is no longer there helping you. Believe me, if you get a second sense you're going to do something, and something inside you says, no, do it, because it's the first sense that you have is usually a message from beyond. ESP is chicken soup, is extrasensory perception. And my first book was ESP is like chicken soup. It can't hurt. They give it for cold. But use your gift.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I'm starting to learn that there's more acceptance.
You've had intuition your whole life. You.
Yep, she has.
She's had it, and you've been holding into it. Now it's time to blossom. Blossom it out.
Wow, thank you.
Very, very intuitive. And what my mother was trying to say is, a lot of times there are some people that are intuitive when it comes to your dreams. Some people they could hear things. Some people could see things. Me, it's like I've always had, since I was 6 years old, it was like a movie camera in front of me. I could see everything about a person, and that's how, or like I have a puzzle and I put it all together, and sometimes people could say, oh, but why, or no, and then all of a sudden things start happening, in their life. And with you have a great perception. When it comes to certain things, you have to follow your first intuition.
Oh, instead of second guessing.
No, you always second guess.
Mm-hmm.
Don't second guess. You are a second. If I could label you, you are a second guesser.
Yeah.
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 And a procrastinator.
The thing is, I'm always worried about Kelly.
Oh, you
picked
that up too. No. What?
I'm always worried about Kelly. I'm always worried about Kelly.
You're a procrastinator when it comes to you. Okay?
Yeah.
But for everyone else, you're on target. You're there. Start with you. Start with you. Start opening up. Start doing some meditation, some prayer. I don't do that because I'm like already there. The more you use your intuition, the stronger it becomes. Right? So I used it my whole life. It's like so with you, it's like, and with other people that want to learn to open up to their intuition, start off with like a meditation and start off with a prayer. I always put on my Facebook and on my Instagram, I always put affirmations and mantras that helps a lot of people as well. But, start off with that, and then that opens your mind. It relaxes you. It's like someone, before they go to bed at night, if some people are hard to sleep, drink hot tea, and eat an apple as well. It helps you go to sleep. So, that's for you.
No, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that was for you. Okay? So, but, start off with that, and then your chakra, your mind opens up wider, And like my mom did with me, and this goes out to Jonathan's listeners, always what comes to your mind first, say it. It may sound strange to somebody. Write it down, date it. It may sound strange, but just say it. And then when it happens, they're going to be like, oh, my God, Jill, you know. And then there are children out there, for the ones that have children. If you hear them saying, oh, Aunt Rosie's in the room, or Uncle Joe's here, you know, and they'll be like, no one's in the room, you know, just listen to them, because they're seeing their spirit, you know, seeing their spirit. And a lot of times people give messages when people see the numbers 222, or they see 111, or 333, or 555. Those are your loved ones giving you messages. Or you see certain names, you know, many times. They're trying to give you a message. A lot of times they can't give you messages, you know, they can't scream your name out, like, Jonathan, you there? But in your dreams, they could say Jonathan, or they could show up, and that's how they communicate. I also tell people, when you want to ask your loved one a question, ask the question, go in your car, and then turn on the radio and listen to the words.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing. You get your answers. That's what happens.
I've had weird things happen. When I've done it, I'll have a song in my head, and then boom, I'll turn on the radio, and it's on right now. You know, that kind of thing.
There you go. And that's called messaging. What you should do is listen to the words. And I do want to say, I just got a message today, earlier, and I want to say it on your show. You know, a lot of people say, oh, Jill, do dogs have souls? Do they go to heaven, or are they just animals? No, every animal, even fish, if you love your fish is your soul, you know, has a soul, and they're your angel as well. Your horse, your dog, your cat, you know, they do have souls, and within 13 seconds, their spirit leaves the body, and then that's the shell that's there. And they're always, heaven is always right beside you, always.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So those are the ones that are always there to protect you and guide you. You know, all you have to do is ask, and they're there. Sometimes people sit there and say, how come I haven't dreamt of my loved ones, you know, or how come they haven't come and visited me? A lot of times they're there, but it's, you know, they know you'll be okay, you know. And then again, there's a lot of times where there's divine intervention, where things happen, and you're like, oh my God, you know, and the person above is the one that made it happen. Or I never say above, beside you. I always use the word beside you. You know, even those. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, it's entirely possible to have, like, an animal that you're close with be, like, sent into your life for a reason, and they have a message sent through your animal, right?
Exactly. Like, let's say someone's favorite aunt passed away, right? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you get this new puppy. And it's amazing that this new puppy reminds you so much, because puppies are humans in my eyes, you know. They're babies. Mm-hmm. You know, all animals are someone's babies. Some people can't have children, right? And then all of a sudden this puppy comes, and it reminds you so much of your aunt. And you're like, oh, my God, even the eyes, you know, the eyes of the animal. Or you lost your dog, and then you get another dog, and it looks just like your other dog. And you're like, oh, my God, it looks just like my other dog, you know, and acts like my other dog. You know, it's amazing. It's like a deja vu moment, right?
Yeah.
Like it was sent to you. Exactly. There are such things as deja vu. I mean, like you could have met somebody, and you could have sworn that you've never met them before, or how can you have met the person? They're from another country or somewhere, and all of a sudden they appear, and you're like, oh, my God, I've met this person. And you never met them. That's like a deja vu. You met them from another lifetime.
Oh,
that's true, too.
Okay.
You get that?
Yeah. And I have had flashes or times where I was very lucid, and it was like I could tell that I was in either like a between lifetimes or it was a past one, and the other person actually confirmed the same memories too, and it wasn't of this lifetime.
It's true. I'm gonna tell you before we go. I'm gonna tell you a quick story, and I said this on my radio show, and it's a true story. The woman came on my radio. My daughter Zoe was dieting, and she was in 8th grade at the time. And so we were both dieting, and I had this dream. I woke up from this dream, and I had this dream that I was eating at this place called Wings and Curls. And while I was eating at this place, Wings and Curls, there was like these, all these people in there. And the person sits us down at the table, and there was this woman wearing off the shoulder a blue or black and white striped top. And everybody's hair was off to the side. It was like really weird. Like, what's his name? Smith. That show? I forgot what that show was. Where it had a high top and off to the side. I forgot. He's in Bad Boys. What was his name? Smith.
No. Okay.
I forgot what this TV show was. But this was my dream. And in the dream, they were saying, this never happened to me. This is the first time in my whole entire life that a dream came into reality, like real reality. So, I've dreamt of, people, but this is like something out of this world. So what happened was they were saying that they were going to Jacksonville for a funeral. And they were, they had to rent a car and that they had to make reservations for a hotel. Then I woke up, right? And in the dream, they were going in this green Taurus, and the green car blew up. So I woke up, and I woke up, and the next day I'm picking Zoe up from school, and this is reality. Now this is not the dream. And I said to Zoe, I want to go eat at a place called Wings and Curls. I haven't eaten there since I was like 18 years old. And she said, I don't want to eat there. I'm on a diet. And I said, but I want to eat there. I dreamt of this place. I have to go. So we go to this Wings and Curls, and when we walked in, I was like, we sit down, and all of a sudden, it's like deja vu. I was seeing these people that were in my dreams 2 tables down with the black and white shirt on. It was either black and white or blue and white, right? So we're sitting, they're sitting there, and I go, oh, my God, these people are in my dream. I got to go over there. And so it's like, oh, Mom, don't do this to me, please. You're going to embarrass me. Don't do this to me, please, please. You're going to embarrass me. I'm like, I have to. This is, like, so weird, right? And I said, is your name Linda? And she said, yes, like that. Because in the dream, her name was Linda. And I said, are you going to Orlando or Jacksonville? And she said, yes, we're leaving tonight. And I said, are you going to a funeral? And she said, yes, who are you? Like that. I said, did you make your reservation? She goes, we're doing that right now. And they were freaking out. There were 4 women. I said, do you drive a green Taurus? She says, no, Linda, the other one does, right? So I said, don't drive that car. And she goes, who are you? I go, I'm Jill. And she starts screaming. She goes, I called into your radio show before. I live in Georgia. These 2 live here in Florida. And she said, you saved my life. On the radio, you told me hang up and go to the hospital, and I was about to have a heart attack. That's what she said. And I said, well, don't go in the car. And so the other girl goes, okay, I'll call my husband and tell him to pick it up. I almost died because in my dream it exploded. So she's telling me that she's going to tell her husband to pick it up. Okay? I go, you don't love your husband?
It's not working very much.
Yeah. No, it's like I couldn't stop laughing. And that's what happened. And so she goes, and so I'm thinking, what's the purpose of this dream? And what was the purpose of me having to go there? Like it was meant for me to be there to save their lives, because I saved her life on the radio, and I just saved their life because if they would have went in that green forest in my dream, it blew up.
Wow.
You understand?
Yeah.
Do you get it? Right?
Yeah,
That's
I do.
the purpose of the dream. I just saved 4 people's lives. And because my mother and I both have solved murder cases and found missing people throughout our life, I love saving lives. So I had to tell that story. That was a pretty neat story that never in my life ever happened to me, you know?
Wow.
So, crazy?
That's awesome.
Nothing's ever crazy, like nothing's ever normal. What's
yeah.
normal?
Well, what's normal?
Yeah, what's normal? If anyone could say I'm normal, who's normal? You know, that's like saying the new fad. What's normal?
Kelly, I was just back in kindergarten, the 4th grade. I can't subtract. I can't add. They didn't know in those days what dyslexia was, right? Dyslexia is when you read backwards. And especially my grandmother had 3 sets of twins. So the second twin, the boy twin, couldn't add, subtract, or multiply. But in those days, I'm 87, honey. In those days, they didn't know what dyslexia was. And so I kept getting left back and left back with an IQ of 159. Which ain't bad. It wasn't until they realized that if you have a left-handed person, remember this, if you have a left-handed person in your family, even if it's your sister or your cousin, it means that the left side of the brain is being used. Do you understand what I'm saying, honey?
Oh.
Do you sort of understand?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's left-handed. I'm not, but I am a little bit ambidextrous.
There you go. All right, it's either or, for real. And because I wish I had started this earlier, because when I found out about it, I was already in my 40s. And I was so dumb. I couldn't subtract. I couldn't add. I couldn't. I wasn't dumb. I just couldn't do the math again.
Einstein and Edison were dyslexic, and they were brilliant. Autism children, people think autism children, they're brilliant. They're oh my God. I had a client that his name is Ryan, and he's teaching at a university when the doctor said to the mother, do not put him in a normal school, like a regular school with other kids. And I said, put him in the regular school. He's brilliant. And we went back to that doctor after all these years, you know, with his doctorate degree. He got a doctorate degree in teaching.
Wow.
Okay? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Every person, that's why I always tell everybody, don't treat, just because someone has a disability, don't treat them different, you know. Let them do the work. Keep them, you know, everyone, you know, has, you know, could learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I've had some challenges myself along the way, and, you know, I thought, gosh, can I really do this? And, you know, I have an employer that is wonderful that is working with me because they see that I want to be there. They see me working hard. They see I'm upbeat about things, and, you know, I just have a great attitude, and that goes a long way.
You have a beautiful attitude. Listen to me before my mother and I go. You have an amazing attitude. Just put everything that you have out there. You're going to do phenomenal. And use your intuition. Okay?
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it.
I do want you to stay away from, like, red meat. It's not good for you.
Okay.
You hear me?
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good for your digestive system.
But you need protein.
Okay, you can have protein in other ways. You could do chicken. You could do supplements. You know, supplements.
Eggs.
But start cleansing your body. You know, start juicing a little bit.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Try staying away from dairy. That's what I'm basically saying.
No, I want avocados.
Oh, and my mother said avocado.
Stay away from or have avocados?
Oh, eat them. Avocado.
Oh, real good. I like those. Oh, thank you.
But it was a pleasure, Jonathan. My mother and I are going to come back next month, and we're going to do.
Okay.
My mother and I love you to life. We'll say, love you to life, Jonathan. You are our family, sweetheart. We love you.
Okay.
You hear me?
All right.
You hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
And
so you want to come back sometime in March?
We'll be back in March, and we'll be answering strictly questions, not talking.
Great. Okay, good. All right. Okay.
Okay, no talking,
thank
just
you.
questions. Okay?
Yeah, thank you. I wish you both the best of health.
You're welcome. Big hugs.
Okay.
Thank you. Say goodbye.
Goodbye,
Thank you.
Jill.
Well, bye. We'll talk to you later.